gonna swell. There's been many times that it tried to explode because of two big wars it tried to unload. Now the worst old war that we'll ever see will start from one big bomb from over the sea.
The purpose of this video is to fast-track anyone interested in playing Fallout 3 on PC through what can be a headache-inducing and time-consuming modding setup process. Newcomers who may be completely unfamiliar with all aspects of modding. Veterans who have potentially spent more time trying new mods and breaking things than playing the actual game. This is for all of you. And if you're wondering how a video that's an hour long can be the fast track, please know you can easily skip all the details and explanations, download all the provided mod files, and have a perfectly tuned modded version of Fallout 3 up and running in about 15 minutes if you already know what's what. I spent hundreds of hours testing and curating what I believe to be a perfect mod list, which you will find in the description below for download alongside every other asset you will need to get Fallout 3 up and running to a relatively modern spec. Emphasis on relatively modern. This is a highly organized package that can be easily understood if adjustments need to be made in the future. It changes a lot of things about Fallout 3, without sacrificing performance, or compromising the established world. You will be able to get your game up and running with improvements faster by avoiding tedious download times off Nexus, and the simple obstacle of slogging through pages and pages of mods figuring out what you want, and what all works together. This video set will walk you through every single mod you're installing. But know that you do have the option to just download everything and have it all up and running in about 15 minutes. Now for the online recipe intro. Be sure to check the timestamps if you get bored. There are a lot of reasons to love Fallout 3, even X years after it released in 2008. Fallout 3 is unique. It's kind of an RPG and kind of an action shooter, but still something else entirely. The dark struggle to survive in the capital wasteland, the 50s sci-fi influence, the general horror of the war-torn world on a divergent timeline, perfectly undercut by an often light-hearted irreverent tone. It all comes together to form one of the best contextual settings ever conceived in a video game. The atmosphere is perfect, the weapons are cool, the creatures and characters are memorable, the scorched capital wasteland and DC ruins are full of mystery and intrigue. In short, this is a world that remains fun and interesting to run around in and interact with, even still today. In my own opinion, Fallout 3 has yet to be fully succeeded by any of its predecessors. However, it's also a huge piece of stupid broken garbage.
Bruh.
Like, it is actually unbelievable just how busted this game is. Yeah, sorry Todd. Between the standard issue 7th gen piss filter and the woefully obsolete Gamebryo engine that Bethesda appears to have built upon hope and damp popsicle sticks, Fallout 3 has not aged well at all. But as luck would have it, Fallout 3 also happens to have had unbelievably extensive efforts taken by a very passionate, talented, and unfathomably based modding community to not only preserve, but also improve this video game. I want to take a moment right now to personally thank Gopher, and White Collar Games. You guys are pillars of the community, and your videos are the only reason I have been able to continue playing one of my favorite games for so long. When I was younger, back when Fallout 3 first came out, I was totally captivated by the trailer. I had never seen anything like it. After an arduous personal odyssey to get an upgraded hard drive for my Xbox 360, I put about 700 hours of play into Fallout 3. It was an experience like no other. Years later, I was completely out of my depth when I built my first PC and tried to play Fallout 3 via Steam. See, if you don't know, for a very long time when you purchased Fallout 3 on Steam and tried to play it, it would just fail to launch. It was sold with a warning label notifying potential players. I'm not joking, it would crash immediately if you tried to play it. There was a whole setup process required to even get it running, and if you got that far it still ran like a one-legged donkey. So after over a decade of random hobbyists propping this game back up to a playable state on PC, Bethesda unexpectedly swooped back in like an absentee stepfather and provided a patch in 2021 that finally fixed the vanilla version of the game so you could play it without going through the rigmarole of getting it to launch. This was at the minor cost of simultaneously breaking almost every single piece of community-built progress. Imagine my surprise when my painstakingly modded setup of Fallout 3 suddenly stopped working one day. It was like if you had just graduated with a college degree and suddenly your stepfather who you haven't seen in 13 years barged in the door without knocking, handed you a check for $20,000, then destroyed every one of your possessions in your room and left again forever. Oh, and later when you went to the bank the check bounced. Modern Bethesda's disdain for their players is truly astounding. So out of pure frustration I stepped away from Fallout for a while. But like any good abusive relationship, I couldn't stay away for long. I realized a patch for the newly broken Steam version had been created and shared on Nexus Mods, so I decided to get Fallout 3 back up and running. Hopefully I can assist some potentially new and returning Fallout 3 fans while I'm at it. The way I decided to do this is to quickly walk through how to set up what I consider to be bare minimum modifications. These changes fix basic things within Bethesda's broken-ass code, and make the game more stable. Many of us angry and vitriolic rage-filled gamers demand the ability to alt-tab out of a game without crashing the entire computer. The basic core mods also include the addition of iron sights like New Vegas. After that, the second part will be me babbling extensively about the stockpile of mods I have tested and organized over the years, and am now sharing for download with anyone interested. What's cool about this is a small handful of these mods have been removed from Nexus, so it's possible this is one of just a few existing backups of these treasures. The Megaton House renovation is a good example. No idea why the author took it down because it's an outstanding mod that greatly improves your Megaton House by adding an extra level with tons of useful stuff. At any rate, it's currently totally unavailable, so I'm glad to be helping redistribute. To be very clear, I have never created a mod myself. This is just my own finalized subjectively perfect collection, which I've organized for one efficient and clean install of Fallout 3. I encourage anyone who utilizes this mod package to follow the provided Nexus links and take the time to endorse all the various authors. These people are heroes and endorsing their work is the least us feeble freeloaders can do. A big problem with me sharing my mod stash for distribution is the potential for these guys to miss out on download stats and positive ratings, so seriously please take the time to get them the props they deserve. Let's get started. This isn't necessary, but I recommend just doing a clean install to begin with. Uninstall the game, and then navigate to your Fallout 3 game folder and delete everything remaining. This just guarantees a smooth install process, with no surprises left over from a previous setup. While Fallout 3 is downloading, create a Fallout 3 Mod Manager folder somewhere logical to you on your computer. As you can see, I created a games folder on my Z drive, and house my mod folder here. This is where all your Fallout 3 mod files will be organized under one roof. The base game files themselves will remain wherever you have Steam installing them. For those unfamiliar, the Fallout Mod Manager is an incredibly handy tool used to organize and install mod files. This software automates the handling of the mod files that you add to make adjustments to the game. Without the Fallout Mod Manager, this would just be a grueling exercise in manually extracting zip files and placing the contents exactly where the instructions say to go within Fallout 3's game file. Once your Mod Manager folder is set up, familiarize yourself with the Steam Fallout 3 game folder location, and the Fallout 3 document folder location. I made a shortcut to the game folder location and I keep that in my games folder with my Fallout 3 Mod Manager folder. This makes the entire workflow much easier. There are some dissenting views on Fallout Mod Manager. You could also be using Vortex or any other mod management software, but Fallout Mod Manager is hands down the most user-friendly and reliable, at least from my own experience. I tried Vortex for a little while just for its integration with the Nexus Mods site, and it completely busted my game after an update in 2018. Besides that, many modders built their files with FOMM in mind, so I see no reason to utilize anything else. Once Fallout 3 is freshly installed, use Steam to perform a first-time run. This should just start and run unmodded vanilla Fallout 3 without a hitch thanks to the benevolent creators of Fallout 76. Let it get to the main menu, then exit the game. Use the link in the description to get to my Fallout 3 download folder. Here you'll find my complete organized mod set. You'll also find test saves if you want to try anything out first, archived mods that were solid but I excluded from the final lineup, and my own starting character spec. If you're on the left side of this IQ chart, go ahead and only download mod folders 1 and 2 from the alpha mods folder. These are all the basic core files that make Fallout 3 not run like garbage, but leave the game unchanged aside from the addition of iron sights. Otherwise, download the entire alpha mods folder, along with the Fallout Mod Manager and loot installers. Make sure you have 7-zip installed on your computer. If you don't, it's free to download. Check the link in the description. Extract the downloaded alpha mods file, and move it to the Fallout 3 Mod Manager folder you created. Next, install the Fallout Mod Manager software. For organizational purposes, it works best if you install this within the Mod Manager folder you created for yourself earlier. Let it create a desktop shortcut. This will also help improve the workflow of this process. Now install Loot. Pretty much same steps as the Mod Manager software. Run the provided exe file. More than likely, Windows will not like the software. It's all good, just click Run anyway and press On. Again, be sure to install Loot into your Fallout Mod Manager folder that you created. Loot stands for Load Order Optimization Tool. The load order of files matters a lot, because certain mods depend on other mods to function properly. If a mod with a dependency is loaded before its target, Fallout 3 will crash whenever you try to launch it. Loot takes the guessing out of the equation, and automatically sorts everything for you. Finally, make another new folder in your Mod Manager folder and call it Mods. Run Fallout Mod Manager. Open up Settings, and set the mod directory to the mods folder you just created. Install info should be set to your Fallout Mod Manager software folder, GEMM. The Fallout 3 directory should have automatically found the Fallout 3 game folder when you ran it, but if not, you can redirect it here. Click Package Manager on the right. This toolbar is how you will be actually managing and installing mod packages. Again, this is automating what would normally be a manual extraction of zip files into the precise and proper locations in the base game folder. Click the Edit Groups button. You can use the provided text file included in the Alpha Mods file to copy and paste these groups. Each one corresponds to a subfolder in the Alpha Mods download folder. Organizing by group is important for quick navigation, and is also useful to uninstall by a category if needed. For example, if you decided one day you no longer want any lighting mods running, you can simply select Deactivate All under the lighting group and immensely speed up the process. Close Fallout Mod Manager. Run Loot. Simply click Sort Plugins at the top, wait for it to sort, then click Apply Sorted Load Order in the same spot. Close Loot, and open Fallout Mod Manager back up. You'll notice the game files have been sorted accordingly. Now that the tools are installed and set up, you can get to work. The first step is to install subfolder 1, Game Files. These are all special install mods that can't be installed by the Fallout Mod Manager, so follow these steps very closely. Open the Fallout 3 game file in one window. Open your Mod Manager folder in another. Copy 0 FOS from Game Files, and paste it into the Fallout 3 game folder. Right-click 0 FOS, and use 7-zip to extract here. Now delete 0 FOS from the game folder. You just installed the Fallout script extender, which is the only way to use and enjoy mods. It also allows you to make use of console commands by pressing the tilde key, above the tab key. Console commands have to be used wisely. They're fun to play with and useful to test mods on the game, but when you can instantly teleport anywhere and type kill all to kill every enemy on the screen, there is definitely a danger of ruining the game with cheats. Anyway, continuing with FOS. This tool is the most important piece, and is largely what was broken when Bethesda quote-unquote fixed the vanilla game. You can check out the download website here. It's possible this will get an update someday that works with the new vanilla Steam version, but as it is, there is an additional tool required to get all this running. We are utilizing FOS version 1.3 for this build, if you're curious. With FOS installed, flip back to the game files folder. Copy 1xlive, and paste it into the Fallout 3 game folder. Delete the 1 dash from the name so it just says xlive.dll. Side note, if you can't see the file extensions, like DLL, you can enable that by clicking View in Windows Explorer, and checking the File Extensions checkbox. That's it for that. This disables prehistoric shitware known as Games for Windows Live, and is an overall positive change for Fallout 3. Flip back again to the Game Files folder. Copy to unofficial Fallout 3 patch, and paste it into the Fallout 3 folder. Delete the 2 dash from the name, and double-click to run the exe. Click Next, accept the agreement, install it directly into the Fallout 3 game folder, then navigate through the next 2 windows. You can choose where to install this folder, but I recommend just letting it go to its default location. This version of the patch is built to be very noob-friendly, so you really shouldn't have to do much besides breeze through the pop-up windows. This is a massive community-built patch that fixes a lot of glitches and errors throughout the game. Be sure to check out the full list with the provided link to the Nexus mod page. Once the patch is finished, flip back again to the Alpha mod subfolder. Copy 3 Fallout Steam patcher, and paste it into the Fallout 3 game folder. Right-click and use 7-zip to extract here. Once the files are added, delete the 3 Fallout Steam patcher zip file. Find the patcher exe that got added, and double-click it to run. A window will pop up and automate the process. Click any key once it gives you the completed successfully message. If you can't find the any key, I found that the spacebar works too. Wink. Congratulations, you just fixed what got broken when Bethesda fixed what had already been fixed. Hooray! There's still one file left in the one game file subfolder called DarnUI, but we will come back to that in a minute. The setup process is a bit more involved, and you can finish installing all the other basic mods first. Navigate back to the Alpha mods directory and find the 2 base folder. These mods will be installed with the Fallout Mod Manager software. Open the Fallout Mod Manager. You'll see that the unofficial Fallout 3 patch ESM has been added to the load order. Open Loot, click Sort Plugins, Apply, and Close. Close the Mod Manager, and open it back up to refresh with the new load order. Click Package Manager. Next, click Add FOMM mod. Navigate to the Alpha Mods 2 base folder. Select one archive invalidation and open. A window will pop up asking if you want to make a copy of the original file. Always say yes to this, because it preserves the Alpha Mods install package that you downloaded. It's always a good idea to keep the original file from Nexus mods on standby in case of emergency. You will see archive invalidation be added to the mod list. Click Archive Invalidation, then click the Edit Info button. Here you can edit the mod name, and associated groups. Archive invalidation should go under All, and Base. It's a good idea to add every mod to the All group, so you can reserve the ability to deactivate and uninstall every mod you add in one move if the need arises. Select the mod again, then click the Activate button. A pop-up will notify you the mod was installed successfully. I actually don't fully understand what archive invalidation does, I just know you need it to make things work. Call it a black box I guess, but the proper explanation for it is definitely out there if you're interested. Now repeat the process for the other files. Click Add FOMM mod, and open 2 multi-thread corefix. This allows Fallout 3 to utilize more of your PC's hardware to run. Again, always click Yes, make copies of the original file when prompted. Use Edit Info to change the name and apply the proper groups. Finally, click Activate. Rinse and repeat with the remaining files. One tweak Alt-Tab allows you to Alt-Tab out of the game without crashing your computer. We are truly living in the future. The stutter remover improves frame rate. Remember, it can always be worse. RAM fix allows more RAM to be used when loading textures and other stuff, and helps prevent crashes. The combat lag fix improves fighting and keeps the game from slogging during battles. And of course, Iron Sights allows you to aim down the gun instead of firing from the hip. It's completely beyond me why this wasn't baked into the base game when the animations all exist in the third-person view. I've set everything up in sequential order, so typically you will say yes to all if this dialog box pops up. Allow FOMM mod to overwrite files by selecting yes to all. I also added the Rivet City crash fix to the basic install set at the last minute. I never was able to identify what exactly was causing this, but anytime I tried to enter Rivet City's midship area or the bridge tower, the game would consistently crash. Normally disabling autosave features will fix this, but in this case it was nothing doing. So I really don't understand much about this mod other than this guy uploaded it in 2011 and it works perfectly, so I'm just here to count my blessings and share this miracle fix with all y'all. With these mods added, close the mod manager and open loot. Click sort, apply, and exit loot. Take a minute to make sure the game is running properly at this point. If you're making use of the provided test save files, you will probably notice that it's already running noticeably smoother. Once that's confirmed, it's time to install DarnUI. And trust me, this is the perfect name for this mod. This mod is the most optional out of this initial basis set, but I would argue it's borderline required because it improves every aspect of the user interface. It makes everything look better, and easier to read. It cleans up the health and action point bars so they don't take up so much room. It changes the basic font of the game, and improves the Pip-Boy menus. It also adds a cool customizable panel to the game screen, in the top corners above your health and action points. You can choose to show the time, radiation levels, and anything else if you want to. I generally leave it clear, but it's cool the option is there. With all that being said, this mod sucks to install if you don't know how to do it. DarnUI has given me more trouble than almost any other mod, and I'm here to make it easy and painless for you. Go back to the One Game Files subfolder in the Alpha Mods folder. Open the Darnified UI folder, and open the installation instructions text file. Now navigate to Documents, My Games, Fallout 3, and open the Fallout INI file. You should be able to do this with the Notepad software built into Windows. Press Ctrl F to open the Find window, type in fonts, and click Find Next. This will send you to the block of text that you are going to change. Switch back to the DarnUI installation instructions. Highlight everything under fonts exactly how I'm doing it, and press Ctrl C to copy the highlighted text. Now move back to the Fallout INI file, and highlight everything under fonts. Press Ctrl V to paste everything you copied, replacing the existing text. Click File, and save the Fallout INI. Exit out. The original backup text in the installation instructions is a copy of the vanilla existing font in case you decide to uninstall DarnUI. You would need to paste the old text back into the Fallout INI, or else the game will crash every time you try to launch it. Learned that the hard way, LOL. Okay, now for the easy part. Open the Fallout Mod Manager backup, and open the Package Manager. Click Add FOMM Mod. Add the Darnified UI zip file. Say yes to retain a copy of the original file. Click Edit Info, and make sure to add DarnUI to the All and Base groups. Click Save. Finally, click Activate. Bingo bango bongo. Alright, now for the final step. Flip over to the Fallout 3 game folder. In here, click the Data folder, Menus, Options, and find the Start Menu.xml file. Right-click this and open with Notepad. If the text is displaying stretched out, you can press Format at the top and select Word Wrap. At this point I need to direct your attention to my personal hero, who is on the Nexus forum as True Courier 6. Dude, I have no idea how you figured this out, but you managed to cure a crippling headache I got from trying to use DarnUI properly. Unfortunately, you were not able to cure my autism. This fix provided by True Courier 6 essentially makes DarnUI usable again. Without this, you wouldn't have control over what it displays on the game screen or where. By default, most likely to do with the removal of games for Windows Live, the DarnUI menu button got bumped by one. And would not display at all on the in-game menu, which meant whatever it decided to display by default is what you were stuck with. I like to keep my game screen pretty clear, so for a long time it was incredibly frustrating having the current date, time, RADs, karma, marital status, social security number, and every other available stat displayed with no way to turn it off. So yeah, I really love True Courier 6 for figuring this out. Okay, so anyway, in this is pause menu area, all you have to do is change 9 to 8. Save the file, exit out, and DarnUI should be good to go. Exit the mod manager, use loot to sort, and launch Fallout 3. You should notice right away the little Vault Boy icon pop up in the bottom left corner. This guy indicates that DarnUI is installed and running properly with FOSS, which will also display. Hover over the Vault Boy icon to check what version of FOSS you're running. And look at that. Immediately the main menu font looks much nicer, while still feeling like it belongs in a Fallout game. Load up a test save, and check out how great everything looks with DarnUI. I'll take a moment here to share my own settings, since this can also turn into a whole process by itself. It's a good idea to switch off save on rest and wait because these can cause crashes. It's also a good idea to get out of the habit of quick saving, which I know is ridiculous, but it really is an easy way to avoid some basic crashes. Save on travel is good to leave on, but be warned this can cause crashes too. If you're experiencing crashes when trying to enter a building or new area, know that the culprit is most likely the setting. Display is all default, except for dialogue and general subtitles. I like to switch these off because it makes me actually listen to the characters. It also cleans up the screen, and makes conversations feel just a little more immersive. Audio is also all default, besides voice, which I crank up to max. This will make sure that you can hear characters speak over rain and other effect noise. Now on to action mapping. Obviously invert is off. Block somehow got mapped to the up key, but I just don't use that. The mouse works fine with melee blocks. Sneak/crouch is left control, auto move I switch to left alt, change view is V, and I like that's on cue. I'm using the Logitech G502 mouse, with a low DPI custom button configuration specifically for Fallout 3. The L key is mapped to the optic button on the thumb, which I use for the grab key. Be sure to check the device menu, because it can be easy to miss. This is where you map your mouse. I like to set activate to the forward thumb button. This feels a lot more natural than pressing E all the time. Reload is on the back thumb key for the same reason. Final area of settings to point out is within the Fallout Mod Manager. If you click on the game settings menu, you can make a lot of adjustments and overrides. I recommend just leaving the defaults as they are. I promise basically nothing can improve how Fallout 3 looks and runs. I tried overriding LOD settings all the way from 100 to 1 million, and no matter what there is still pop in, except with added stuttering. I only mention this menu because if someone finds a way to run these graphic overrides with any success, that would be amazing, and I hope you share your settings. But hey, that's it. Even the most sanctimonious Puritans and Bethesda cultists would have to admit it's worth making these modifications to Fallout 3, purely for improved quality of life. Ironically, the ultimate goal with mods is to make it feel as if they aren't mods at all. They should feel like how the game was supposed to be. I agree with this logic fully. I intentionally excluded a large number of texture improvements because aside from making the game lag, it's tricky to not make the texture mods stick out like sore thumbs against unmodded textures. With that said, the first time I played Fallout 3 was around the same time I was playing Halo 3. My expectation was that when I beat an Enclave squad, I would be able to fly their vertibird. I am pleased to say that with mods, flying a vertibird is now possible. And if you think that's game breaking, just wait until you see the Liberty Prime EXO. All that just to say the following mod list is what makes this game perfect for me. It won't suit everybody, and I hope this video makes it easier to pick and choose. However, this video is also meant to exist as an avenue to significantly speed up the setup process of Fallout 3. So if you trust my taste and judgment, at this point you should be able to just speed run through the rest of the mods by adding, activating, and sorting them with the mod manager. Just be sure to review my final installed load order here. Be sure to uncheck Black Wolf Backpack Vendor Replenish script. If you don't, you'll get a notification every time a shop gets a new shipment of backpacks. Why anyone would want this is beyond me. Enhanced Weather Reboot also needs to be unchecked, unless you have a non-story breaking reason why your character has the ability to control the weather. I also did not install Liberty Prime Megaspawn because it adds a really weird item to your inventory that you can't drop.